We got a great call as always. This young man is not new to us. If you're a brand new IDO, yes, he's new to you, but not to us. But we love him dearly. He lives in Houston, Texas. Let me tell you about this young man. He's a community leader. He is one of the top 100 mavericks when it comes to business. Has his own business. Oh yeah, with a lot of employees. He's an influencer. He's also a mentor to young people and a lot of older people as well. He goes into the prison population, helping people understand right and wrong. He's a man of faith. His birthday is on the 13th of May. You don't think I remember this? 13th of May. He'll be the right young age of 55 years old, and God is using him in a mighty way, and a great man, a great friend of mine. Without further ado, the one and only incomparable Mr. Dwight Williams in Houston, Texas.
Camera. How's everybody today? Everybody good? Oh yeah, it's a if we breathing and if you're above ground, then it's a blessed day. You had the opportunity to do whatever you want if you're above ground today. So, and you that way. Well, I'm glad to be here. Mr. Thomas, as usual, I always want to tell you, I want to just say thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity that you afford us, because you don't have to, you don't need it. I mean, you've got superstars like Mr. Lewis, you got Mr. Driscoll, you got Mr. Torelli, you got Miss Natasha. So you already got a number of superstars on the team. So to ask a little guy like me from the hood, you know, to get on here and talk to you guys is what is it? A plum pleasing privilege and pleasure. So I thank you for it. I really appreciate it. I was talking about you just the other day. I was talking to a young lady. I trade in the mornings, and she was on the call, and I was telling them, I know a guy that's been an entrepreneur for 40, 50 years, owned planes. She's from the West Coast. I said, he's West Coast guy, Vegas, and has in real estate and in currency and all of that. This guy's done it all. So it's a privilege to be connected to your network. So, and I appreciate you including me. Thank you. Thank you. Just want you to know that. As we get started today, we're going to talk about, it's going to be a different kind of month. We're going to kind of mix up, you know, I'm all about faith. If you don't want to listen about faith, I ain't the guy, but I'm a faith guy, and I'm a faith guy, and I will talk about this later, because I think I see faith in everything I do. Matter of fact, everything I do is because of my faith. And so, and turn, I'm being told how to fix my light situation there. It keeps coming on and off. So I wanted to say real quick, I wanted to open up. I heard a story about an officer, preacher was driving along the freeway, and he gets pulled over by a patrolman. Patrolman walks over to the car, and preacher puts the window down and says, hello, good day, officer. And the patrolman kind of catches a whiff of the preacher, and smells alcohol on his breath, and he says, you've been drinking, sir? And he says, oh, water, been drinking water. And he looks over in the preacher's seat and sees a bottle of wine. The preacher looks over and says, oh my God, good Lord, he's done it again. I just like to open up real quick. One of the things I do is I listen to Joel Osteen a lot. Joel opens up with these icebreakers. I love those things. They are brilliant. But I just want us to have fun talking about business. I really do. I have more fun doing this than anything. I wake up every day loving what I do. And more than that, I want everybody else to do the same, because nobody's stopping us from doing what we love but ourselves. And if we want to do what we love, then all we got to do, truth be told, we just have to do it. And that leads me to my next point. I want to ask a couple of questions. I want to start off here. When was the last time you chased your dreams recklessly? I just want to ask that question real quick. When was the last time you recklessly chased your dream? When was the last, here's a different question. When was the last time you did something that didn't make any common sense? That was just nuts, crazy. Um, uh, because, and there's a reason I mentioned this. Once again, most of you know, my favorite scripture says, now faith is, meaning now faith is the substance of things that we hope or dream of, and the evidence of things that have not yet appeared. And so I, I think many of us have dreams and we have visions and we have things that we want, and we dream of those things. And the Bible says they are now. They're right now. And then the question is, what am I? How is the gap not bridging for me? It's the action that we have to take. We have to take leaps and steps of faith before it's. I got to do this thing before I see it. I've got to believe this thing before it's actually here. And so I hear these stories about I died and went to heaven, and he took me to my storage cabinet, and I saw all this stuff that I was supposed to have that I didn't have because I didn't believe it. Well, and I understand the message in that, but we were designed to tremendous lives. We were designed for it. And the way I know it, it says, to him who is able to do what exceeds abundance above your imagination, according to the power that works in you already. You're born with it. So you were designed for things that exceed abundance above your imagination, not your imagination. That's just simply the glimmers that you are able to fathom. See, the stuff we see that we call our dreams, that's just the little pieces that we can see. But he said, I can do what exceeds abundance above that. So, and then how? According to what's already in you, the power that's working in you. But I think what happens is when that flame bursts and it starts to blazing, we start, because of sometimes our doubt, unbelief, conditioning, whatever you want to call it, we douse it. Because why? That's too much fire. Too much fire. We can't do that. I can't do that. It's too much. But you were designed for it. And that's what I want to challenge you to today, to pursue, to be reckless in your pursuit, in your life, in everything. Don't just accept things. I say this all the time, water seeks the lowest point. Similar to water, we seek comfort and safety. We instead of facing the challenges in life that will provoke us to fulfilling our dreams and living and seeing those things that we want that we don't yet see, we settle and we say, you know what, I'm good. And that's which is the part of my title today is Good to Great. And the reason I say Good to Great, Jim Collins wrote a book called Good to Great. And in the beginning of his book, this is a phenomenal statement that at the opening of his book, Good to Great, he makes this statement. He says, good is the enemy of great. Now, I will never, ever forget that statement. Now, let me ask all of us a question in ACN. How many times have you been talking to somebody and you present the business and they say to you, I'm good? How many times have you heard that statement? that statement to me just, I cannot, here's what you got to know. I'm a guy going 30 to 35 years. I haven't worked for anybody. I've been an entrepreneur that time. My wife and I have lived a tremendous life. My daughter's a doctor. My son's an entrepreneur. We've lived, I've been free for over 30 years now. And so you got to imagine, take a guy like me that's talking to, and definitely when I talk to young people, and I talk to a young person that, because see, when I talk to that young person, I see nothing but potential. I see all of the potential in this person. And then I observe where I'm at, and I think to myself, how you cannot be good with your current place now. You have, how can you have all of this potential and everything that you've been given and be satisfied, not seeing it to its fullest? That's all I'm saying. What I'm saying is I will never be satisfied to where a point where I can be comfortable and safe till the day I die. People say, well, you're never going to retire. What is that? The word stands for death. It says, yeah, I don't want to die. I want to live. And he said, I shall not die. I will live and not die. So based on that statement, I want to live every possible day I can get my hands on. People say, well, Dwight, you'll be good at 95. No. You'll be good at 95. I'm going to be good at 125. And they'll be like, yeah, but you'll be old and decrepit. You may be old and decrepit, but I'm going to be in great health. Why? Because I'm going to drink a gallon of water. I'm going to run 4 days a week. I'm going to watch what I eat. I'm going to do the things necessary to why? Because we act according to what we believe. As a man thinks, that's who that man is. And so if I believe these things, people say, yeah, but I believe I'm supposed to be rich. Okay, what did you do in the last 7 days that rich people do? We complicate things. We really do. We make things more complicated than they are because they're not complicated. Why? He didn't design a world. Did you really believe God designed a world that was so complex that you couldn't win in it, that you couldn't thrive in it, that you wouldn't dominate it? You think he designed the world like a puzzle to where you would not win? No, he designed this world for you. We talked about this before. It was created for us to dominate it. The only reason we don't in many cases is because we choose not to. And so we live the life of our belief systems. So why is faith so important to me? Because I sit at the center of everything that we've achieved, everything we achieve is that as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Well, his thoughts are a product of his beliefs. So his faith is a product of the action that takes when he's convicted of the things he believes. So my thoughts produce my beliefs. My beliefs take on life when I act on them, when I'm so convicted of them that they provoke me to take action. That's how it works. And so when I look at people, so people say, well, perfect example. I look around right now, and Mr. Thomas talks about this all the time. Pandemic, economic crash. I trade in an economic crash. Why? Warren Buffett say, be greedy when others are fearful, be fearful when others are greedy. Why? Because people of faith don't care about what's being said. I expect to wake up every day and win. I don't care what's going on around me. I expect to win. And when I don't win, I ain't happy. I'm not happy. Well, they say, well, what if you're doing better than everybody else? That ain't winning for me. I got to be better than my yesterday. I'm my competition. I got to beat me. That's the hardest guy for me to beat is myself. Long as I can beat me every time I try to win, I'm going to win every day. So I see individuals, and I'm not, and I'm really challenging this. I see individuals that are comfortable, long as they're the most successful person in their circle. Oh, find another circle. Why? Because that means if I'm at the top of the mountain, I got to look around. There are other peaks in other places. Now I got to go into a valley to get there, but why wouldn't I do it? Never satisfied. I'm never going to be satisfied. I'm going to be content, like Paul. I'm going to be content because I know I'm blessed. But I'm never going to kick back and say, this is the end. I'm comfortable now. I'm in a safe place. I'm never going to be in a safe place, ever. If I hit a peak, I'm going to look around and find another peak, and I'm going after it. I only climb to the top of a mountain to see the other mountains. That's the reason I go to the top of mountains, to see what other mountain I can climb. We never quit. We never retire. I admire Mr. Thomas. I do, tremendously so. I admire Miss Ismail and her husband flipping gas stations, young people thinking that way. And I imagine they're probably thinking, what's next? Imagine, because that's what you do. When you start killing lions and bears, giants don't stand a chance. I mean, think about it. You don't even hesitate when the giant comes up talking a bunch of noise. You're thinking, dude, I kill lions and bears with my bare hands. You're done. And so all we got to do is just kill a few lions and bears. You do that enough times, you ain't gonna tell you there won't be any more giant problems. I can assure you of that. You won't have no more giant problems. And so that statement that Mr. Collins makes in Good to Great that says that good is the enemy of great is a phenomenal statement. We have to be careful to resist the temptation of good because it will rob us of our great. And we have to be careful of that. We have to be careful when we hit 10 people on a call that we get comfortable and say, hey man, nobody else has got 10. I got more people on the call than anybody else. No, you don't. There's one person got as many people on that call as you. Guess who that is? You. So what does that mean? Oh, I got to get 11 on the next one because I got to beat that dude. I got to beat that cat right now. So I got to get some more people on the call. And if you compete with yourself that way, never satisfied, there's never, you eliminate the, what is the word they say? The lids. You remove your lids when you begin to think that way. Why? Because the only lid in your life is you. People say, well, no, I hear the presentations of the leaders and I can tell them, no. The presentations of the leaders is the presentations of the leaders. The question is how you interpret it and what do you decide? You make the final decision. Nobody makes that decision for you. You'll make that decision for you. How bad do you want it and how big do you want to win? Nobody makes the decision but you. Nobody makes that decision for you. What is great for you? I never define great by the greatest guy on the team. Think about it. My son came to me the other day. He said, Dad, let me tell you something. I've been watching. Kobe Bryant is my guy. Kobe Bryant is my number one, the guy I love the most in the NBA. He said, but let me tell you, when I go to look at the record of Michael Jordan was a man amongst boys. When he played in the league, there was not a player in the league came anywhere near him. Look at all the records and everything he broke. There was nobody that could come anywhere near this guy's records. Dunking, shooting, defense, offense, passing. The guy was tremendous in every area of the game. So what was his lead? Who was he able to compare to? Who does the best guy in the game compare himself to? Ain't but one person. Somebody say Big Wilt. Oh, you Big Wilt. Yeah. Oh, Big Wilt was literally playing with midgets. So I mean, compared to him during that time. but it is the truth. Who does the top guy compare to himself? You are the one. You are your greatest competitor. That's why he says, I can do what exceeds abundance above your imagination. And I don't use things outside of you to do it. All of the material that I use to help you win was placed in you when you were created. You don't need anything else. You got everything you need already. So when I think about that, I become so unsatisfied where I'm at. Have I used all my material to its fullest? Have I maximized the life I've been given? Am I the full expression of what he created me to be? And I'm never satisfied, because if I'm still breathing, he has more expectation of me. He has to. That's the only reason I'm still breathing, is there's more for me to do. When I'm done, there's no reason for me to be doing this anymore. It's time for me to move on to the next place. The book, A Tale of Two Cities, it opens up. It says, it was the best of times, it was the worst of times. Many of us have probably read this book. And the reason I bring this up, like good to great, it's all in perspective, isn't it? It's all what we perceive. Some people see the best of times, some see the worst of times. All I know is, I know that there are people who are panicked right now. Fear is everywhere. But I also see a group of people who are getting rich beyond measure in cryptocurrencies, trading in stocks, marketing. I see people like Mr. Thomas and the whole of ACN. You got teams like this, like you guys, that are capitalizing on this moment and moving themselves toward momentum. And they're doing it in a down time. My favorite book, the Bible, says that Isaac increased 100-fold in a famine. He did that in a famine. See, when you live by faith, when you live by faith, when do you think God shows off the most? When everybody's doing good and everything's perfect? Well, no. But when I'm a beacon in a troubled time with chaos and turmoil everywhere, and I'm walking on water and there's storms everywhere, and my homeboys, they decided, you know what? We're going to watch you walk on water. We're going to hang back on the boat. You can believe this, though. They're going to have to listen to me tell them for the rest of their life, hey, y'all talk all that noise all you want, but I'm the only one walking on water. So let's get it clear. And so for me to have them bragging rights, I got to put it on the line. We got to get out here and take chances and take risks, man. See, comfort and safety ain't a faith thing. I asked you earlier, when was the last time you pursued or recklessly chased after your dream, made a decision that wasn't based on the amount of money you had in the bank? Mr. Thomas, I remember this young man. He came down here one time right before an international event. People were in the room and he made a statement. He says, the best time to go to an international is when you don't have the money. You probably don't even remember that. You probably don't even remember that. I remember the little things. Now, and you know what? You know what really, I'm going to tell you guys this, and I'm going to bring you into this. I miss those days because I had the money. But I remember what it was like not to have it. I remember the decisions and the things I did that were reckless when I was young. And I always challenged myself, have I lost my edge? Because what happens is when you get stuff and you start acquiring stuff, it begins to create, it makes you, it almost forces you to have to play it safe to protect that stuff. But see, when we start protecting stuff, and where's our faith? It ain't our stuff in the beginning, it's his stuff. Why are we protecting it? Why are we trying to, well, I got to secure my life. No, I thought that's what he did. Now all of a sudden we doing it. That's a lot of work. It's a whole lot of work. It is. When it would be a lot easier to just lean and depend on him, isn't it? That's what faith does. And now we can be reckless. Why? Hey, Dwight, you about to jump? Yeah, I think he got me. So, what? You gonna quit? Yeah, I'm quit. Why? I want to see if he can pay the bills next week. What? Without a job? Yeah, because imagine what I'm gonna do if he does. It's gonna be nuts if them bills get paid. And I didn't. And the homework come and say, hey, if you don't do what I tell you to do, oh, I won't be doing it. Oh, well, you fired. I'll let you later. I told somebody I was traveling, and this is the old me. I was talking to someone a while back, and I was driving in traffic. I was in traffic, and I told, and this is the new me. I told him, I said, boy, if this was happening and I had a job and I was doing this every day, I'd have called him in the car. Say, hey, unless y'all can work out a new way, I won't be back tomorrow. I won't be coming back to this. What? You mean you ain't gonna try? I'm in traffic for an hour, 2 hours? Nah, I won't be doing that. Yeah, and now, hey, but here's what y'all can do. Come up with a new way, telecommute, let me work online. If y'all can figure that out, let me know before the day's out, but I won't be back tomorrow. Why we do? So what does that mean? Because my time is valuable to me. Well, but they paying for your time, not that much. They're not paying that much for it. Because for me to sit in the traffic for an hour to 2 hours, they ain't paying that much money for that time. And we have to think that way. And we begin to realize who we are and whose we are. We handle us differently. We don't allow people to get us cheap. And we handle ourselves differently. Meaning what? When we walk into situations, we expect to win. We never enter situations thinking that we are victims or we're going to be used. I don't enter a situation that ain't mutual. Now, I'm going to say one other thing on top of that. I also don't create situations where I win and people lose. That's the other thing I do. It's mutual. I create situations where people win. When I sense that somebody's trying to create a situation where I lose, I'm out. I'm going to tell you that now. Straight, I'm out. I won't be in that situation. Why? Oh, I'm a king's kid. Why would I act like anything other than what I am? And I believe it. And I've lived it and done it. So why would I do anything else? And here's the surprising thing you'll find out. When you begin, we say this all the time, we teach people how to treat us. When we begin to see, people treat us the way we see ourselves. But when we begin to see ourselves different, people are going to change the way they, and when we begin to see ourselves different, we begin to act different. And when we begin to act different, people are going to relate themselves to us differently as well. So I never go into a situation thinking about rejection or not rejection, acceptance or rejection. I don't go into that. Hey, I want to present. Hey, I was wondering if you could be my customer. I want to present this business to you, and I hope you. No, absolutely not. You can stay right where you at. What? I'm not convincing. Why? Because I'm looking for the person that's looking for me. Like I was looking for something. Why would I be looking for any other guy? Why would I be looking for a skeptic? Now, am I willing to spend some time with you and talk to you and try to give you, but if you like, hey man, I know as much as you. You know what? You're right, actually. Hey, let's you paying for this or I'm paying, or we gonna split the bill, and you got your coffee, I got my coffee, and we gonna because I'm out. And that it is because why? I'm not a beggar. ACN is an opportunity. It really is. And it's an opportunity that's changed a whole lot of people's lives. Why would I beg somebody to take this? And I believe when we start begging people and doing these things, we devalue the opportunity. We do. Think about it. I got a significant other, and I'm begging her to be with me. You think she becomes more attracted to me the more I beg her, or less? She becomes less attracted to me the more I beg her or him. It's just natural. Things that are chased run. Things that run are chased. It just is what it is. All right. The time, real quick, and I'm not going to belabor you. Time. Let me help you with time, because all of this stuff is fake. I hear people say, now here's something about time. We don't say time. We don't talk about time. It's in the back of our minds. We think, man, if I'm gonna build this business, it's gonna take forever. No, it won't. No, it won't. It's not gonna take forever. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you, I can tell you exactly how long it's gonna take you to build this business. But before I do that, I want to tell you one other thing. When we talk about time, The Bible says that I can redeem the time. But we don't remember none of that stuff. He said, I can undo stuff that you have lost and have been destroyed in your life. I can get it back for you. He said, oh, and as far as time, I can get time back. What? Why? Because I sit outside of time and I turn the pages of time. I can do whatever I want with time. Time is subject to me. Really and truthfully, if you believe, time is subject to you. Matter of fact, the only way to make time subject to you is for you to believe. That's how I redeem the time, is based on your faith. What do you mean? Because I can accelerate things on a man that believes. Why? Because all things are possible. Redemption of time, if you believe, if you crazy enough to believe it. But most of us ain't that crazy. What did I say? Have you been, when was the last time you recklessly pursued your dreams? When was the last time you did something so crazy that it didn't make any common sense? But we don't do it. Why? We keep ourselves in these frameworks that are that protect comfort and safety, that we miss out on all of the stuff outside. You know, how am I going to see God never has to show up in my life if I never put him in a position that he has to do anything. If I keep playing it safe, he ain't never got to do nothing. He only has to show up when I put myself in situations and force him to. Then he got to show up. So time. What if I was going to tell you, I'm going to clear up for time. In a business like this, that he says, and I told you, I'm gonna give you the answer. However fast you want to build this business is how fast you develop your mind, your way of thinking. The faster you develop your mind, the faster you'll build this business. Now you'll say, what? So why is personal development so important to this business? This business is about leadership and attracting leaders. Now, why is it about leadership and you attracting leaders? Why is it about those two things? Because only a leader attracts leaders. And if you're not a leader, then you must become a leader to attract leaders. Make sense? And so therefore, the faster you become a leader, the faster you'll attract leaders. So people say, well, what I got to do? Whatever it takes to become a leader. Well, what is that? We are destroyed because we lack knowledge. The way you change anything in your life is to gain the information that produces the knowledge that produces the belief, that produces the conviction that convicts you of action. That's how it's done. So the only way you take new action, you have to do it based on new knowledge. It's like me going on a basketball court and saying, you know, I'm gonna take my game up a notch, but I don't practice or learn any new techniques. You know, I'm gonna be the same guy that I am today. I'm only gonna score half the points like I do now. Versus, no, I'm just joking. I just thought I'd throw that in there. But the knowledge is the thing that will make all the difference. You gain new knowledge, it produces new beliefs. You become convicted of those beliefs, and they cause you to take action. That's how it works. That's how it works. And so you want to do this fast? Get the knowledge faster. Well, how do I do this? Staying on these calls, reading more, studying more, studying the top producers and the guys that you admire that are doing what you're doing. That's how you do it. Last but not least, I don't have enough money. What if I don't have the resources to do it? Then I'm going to say something. Brace yourself. Get ready. Because we always say faith. We always say faith. Why would I have faith in somebody that can't give me the stuff I need to succeed? See, we keep thinking that the world was designed in such a way that we lose, but it wasn't. The world was designed for us. So you never not have the resources. You just haven't figured out how to get them. But he ain't stupid enough to put you in a place where you can't win. He put you in a position for you to win. So the only other answer is the only reason I'm losing is because of me. Because I don't believe. Because I'm more prone to believe that I should lose than I am to win. Remember, faith and doubt are two different postures. They create steps. The steps of a good man, they're ordered by the Lord. But if I have doubt and fear is a different set of steps. So people say, well, you say you've given me everything that pertains to life and godliness. Why I don't have it? Because I ain't took the steps to get to it. I took a set of steps that went away from it. Why did you do that? Because I was scared. I doubted. I was fearful. I did the things but I had everything for you. But I didn't get it because I didn't trust that you did. And it's that simple. We have to change the way we think. Every single one of you, I'm going to tell you right now, if this business is what you want to do it. Nothing's stopping you from doing it. And you say, how do I know I can do it? Mr. Thomas did it, is doing it. Other leaders in this organization. And if one man can do it, then you can. Why? Because nothing is impossible to someone that believes. And with that, Mr. Thomas, I turn it back over to you.